The walls of the Grande Mosquée de Paris are ancient stone, cool even in summer, cold in winter. I press my hand against them sometimes when I walk through the corridors, feeling the weight of centuries beneath my palm. This building has stood here since 1926, but it feels older, as if it remembers different times, different wars. Now, it remembers this war, this occupation, these desperate nights when we sheltered those the Nazis would destroy. My name is Farid, and I am 24 years old, though I feel older. Before the war, I worked in my father's cafe in the Marais, serving coffee and listening to artists and writers argue about philosophy and politics. I had dreams of becoming a teacher, of opening a school someday. The war ended those dreams, or perhaps it simply changed them into something else. Now, I teach survival. Now I teach silence. The man I'm leading through the catacombs tonight is named Samuel. He's a doctor, middle-aged, with kind eyes and trembling hands. His wife and daughter are already safe, smuggled out last week through a different route. He stayed behind to treat a sick colleague, and now the colleague is dead, and Samuel is running for his life. We moved through the tunnels beneath Paris with only a small lantern to guide us. The catacombs are a labyrinth. 6 million dead interred in these walls over the centuries, their bones stacked in neat rows like cordwood. Tourists used to come here before the war to gawk at the skulls and take photographs. Now the dead watch over the living, providing cover for our secret work. The Germans know about the catacombs, of course. They've tried to map them, tried to patrol them, but there are hundreds of miles of tunnels down here, and we know them better than anyone. We know the hidden passages and the false walls, the places where the ceiling is low and you must crouch, the chambers that flood during heavy rain. This is our territory, our domain. Up above, the Nazis may control the streets, but down here in the dark, we are free. Samuel is breathing hard, struggling to keep pace. He's not used to physical exertion, and the air down here is thick with dust and the smell of old stone. I slow down, giving him time to catch his breath. We have perhaps an hour more of walking before we reach the exit point, an old wine cellar in the 5th arrondissement, where another member of our network will be waiting with forged papers and civilian clothes. If everything goes according to plan, Samuel will be out of Paris by tomorrow evening, heading south towards Spain and eventual safety. If everything goes according to plan, but plans have a way of failing, especially now. Last week we lost 3 refugees when a Nazi patrol stumbled across them in a safe house. The week before that, one of our forgers was arrested. The net is closing, tightening around us, and every day more people come to the mosque seeking help. Sikador Benga Brit, the rector of the mosque, makes the final decision about who we can help and who we cannot. He's a careful man, wise and strategic. He knows that if we're too bold, if we take too many risks, we'll be discovered and destroyed, and then we won't be able to help anyone. But he also knows what's at stake. He's seen the yellow stars that Jews are forced to wear. He's heard the stories about the camps, about the trains heading east that never return. He knows that to do nothing is to be complicit in genocide. So we do what we can. We shelter them in hidden rooms within the mosque, rooms that don't appear on any blueprint. We forge Muslim identity certificates for them, giving them new names and new identities. We teach them a few prayers in Arabic, just enough to pass a casual inspection, and we move them through the catacombs when the time is right, when we have a clear route and a safe destination. It's not much, it's not enough, but it's something. Samuel stumbles, and I catch his arm, steadying him. The lantern swings wildly, sending shadows dancing across the walls of skulls. For a moment, I see the faces of the dead looking at us, empty eye sockets witnessing our flight. I wonder what they would think of this, these people who died centuries ago. Would they understand why we risk everything for strangers? Would they approve? Not far now, I tell Samuel in a low voice, though sound doesn't carry far in these tunnels. Another quarter hour more. He nods, too breathless to speak. His face in the lamplight is gray with exhaustion and fear. I think about his wife and daughter, already safe, waiting for news of his escape. I think about all the families we've helped reunite, all the lives we've saved. 20? 30? I've lost count. Each one is a small victory against the darkness that has engulfed Europe. Each one is a reason to continue. The tunnel opens into a larger chamber, and I pause, checking my bearings. This is one of the dangerous points, a junction where 3 passages meet. If a patrol is going to be waiting anywhere, it's here. I signal Samuel to stay back and move forward cautiously, the lantern held low. The chamber is empty. I breathe out in relief and motion for Samuel to follow. We're close now, very close. Above us, Paris continues its occupied existence. German soldiers patrol the streets, checking papers, enforcing curfew. Collaborators whisper denunciations in the ears of the Gestapo. Resistors hide weapons and print underground newspapers and plan acts of sabotage. The city lives and breathes and suffers, waiting for a liberation that seems impossibly far away. But down here in the dark, in these tunnels of bone and stone, we do our small part in a vast war. It doesn't feel like enough, but it's something. The exit is ahead, a wooden door hidden behind a false wall. I tap out the signal. 3 short, 2 long, and wait. After a moment, the door opens, and Eve appears, grinning his gap-toothed smile. "Punctual as always," he whispers, reaching out to help Samuel through. Samuel takes his hand gratefully, practically falling into the wine cellar beyond. I follow, pulling the door shut behind us and resetting the false wall. The room smells of dust and old wine, but it feels safer than the tunnels, warmer. Eve's has souvenir clothes laid out on a table, along with the forged papers that will make Samuel into someone else, someone the Nazis don't want to kill. "You're at 6, Eve is saying to Samuel, helping him out of his coat. "You'll have a 4-hour journey. Someone will meet you at the station with the next set of papers. After that, you're on your own until you reach the Spanish border. Do you understand?" Samuel nods, his hands still shaking, but his eyes clearer now, focused. He's going to survive this. He's going to see his wife and daughter again. "Thank you," he says, looking between Eve and me. "I don't know how to thank you. What you've done, what you risk." "Pray for us," I interrupt, because I can't bear to hear gratitude for something that should be basic human decency. "Pray that we all see the end of this war. Pray that this madness ends soon." He promises that he will, and then Eves is hurrying him toward the stairs that lead up to the street, to the next stage of his journey. I watch them go, feeling the familiar mixture of relief and emptiness that comes at the end of every successful mission. One more saved. How many more are still in danger? How many more will we lose before this is over? I extinguish my lantern and sit for a moment in the dark wine cellar, allowing myself a minute of stillness. Above me, Paris sleeps under occupation. Somewhere in England, people are breaking German codes and planning the liberation of Europe. Somewhere in Russia, people are fighting the Germans in brutal winter conditions. And here, in these hidden spaces beneath the city, we do our small part in a vast war. It doesn't feel like enough, but it's all we have. It's all we can do. I think about the work waiting for me back at the mosque. There are 3 more people hiding there now, 3 more who need forged papers and safe passage. There's a family arriving tomorrow from the countryside, warned by friends that the Gestapo was looking for them. They come to the mosque because they've heard rumors, because someone told someone who told someone that there's help available here. We can't turn them away. We can't tell them that we're shutting down operations, that it's too dangerous right now. So we take them in, hide them in the rooms we just emptied, and start the cycle all over again. The work never ends. That night, I'm back in the tunnels, leading the young couple and their baby toward safety. The baby is mercifully quiet, probably too frightened by the strangeness of it all to cry. The mother carries him wrapped in blankets, and the father carries a small bag with their few possessions. We move slowly, accommodating their inexperience, stopping frequently to let them rest. It takes 3 hours to reach the exit point, 3 hours of creeping through the darkness with a baby who might cry at any moment and give us away. But there's always someone who needs help, always another life hanging in the balance. The work never ends. The danger never lessens. But we continue, because stopping is not an option. I stand, brushing the dust from my trousers. It's time to return to the mosque, to see what new emergencies have arisen in my absence, to prepare for tomorrow's inevitable crises. The war continues. The work continues. And I continue with it, because there is no other choice. Because to stop would be to betray everything I believe in, everything that makes me human. Si Kadur Ben Gabrit taught me something important when I first came to the mosque offering my help. He told me about a teaching shared by Islam and Judaism, that whoever saves a single life, it is as if they have saved the entire world. Every time we help someone escape, every time we forge a new identity and send someone towards safety, we save a world. We save all the worlds that person might touch, all the lives they might affect, all the love they might give and receive. It's a beautiful teaching. And on the dark days, when we lose someone or when the danger feels too close, I hold on to it like a prayer. I think about all the worlds we've saved, all the futures we've preserved. And then I go back into the tunnels, back into the darkness, looking for the next person who needs us. Because there's always a next person. And we'll keep doing this work until the war ends or until they catch us, whichever comes first. I make my way back through the catacombs, following a different route than the one I took with Samuel. Never use the same path twice in a row. That's one of the first rules of this work. Patterns get you killed. Predictability gets your entire network arrested. So I vary my routes, vary my timing, vary everything I can control in an effort to stay one step ahead of the hunters. The walk back takes longer than the walk out. I'm alone now, which means I can move more slowly, more carefully. I pause at every junction, listening for sounds that don't belong. The catacombs are never truly silent. There's always the drip of water, the scurry of rats, the settling of ancient bones. But human sounds are different, distinct. Boots on stone, breathing, the click of a weapon being readied. I hear none of these things tonight. Just the normal sounds of the underground, the city of the dead going about its eternal business. When I finally emerge into the basement of the mosque, dawn is breaking. I can see gray light filtering down from the windows above, hear the call to morning prayer beginning. The mosque is waking up, beginning another day of its public function as a place of worship and its secret function as a refuge for the persecuted. I climb the stairs from the basement, my legs aching from hours of walking through the tunnels. In the main prayer hall, the faithful are gathering for Fajr, the dawn prayer. I join them, grateful for the ritual, for the familiar movements and words that ground me after a night in the darkness. This is why the mosque is such a perfect cover for our operations. It's a legitimate religious institution serving the Muslim community of Paris. The Germans largely leave it alone, not wanting to antagonize the Muslim populations in their North African territories. And within this protected space, we can do our secret work, hiding refugees in rooms that officially don't exist, forging papers in back offices, moving people through tunnels that connect to the mosque's ancient cellars. After prayers, I find Si Kadur Ben Gadrit in his office. He's an elderly man, dignified and careful, with the bearing of someone who has navigated political waters his entire life. He was appointed rector of the mosque before the war and has managed to maintain its independence even under occupation, a delicate balancing act that requires constant vigilance and diplomatic skill. "Samuel?" he asks as I enter. "Safe," I report. "Hand it off to Eves. He should be on a train south by now." The rector nods, making a note in his ledger. He keeps meticulous records, coded, of course, of everyone we help, not their real names, but enough information that if we survive this war, if we live to see liberation, we can account for what we did. We can prove that not all of France collaborated, that some of us resisted, that some of us chose humanity over fear. "There's a problem," he says, and my stomach tightens. There's always a problem. The Gestapo arrested one of our forgers yesterday, Martha Dupont. They caught her with false papers in her apartment. Martha, I know her. A middle-aged woman, a widow, who has been creating false identity documents for us since the beginning. She's forged hundreds of papers, maybe thousands, helping Jews disappear into false Muslim identities, helping resistance fighters acquire new names. If the Gestapo interviews her, if she breaks under torture, our entire network could be exposed. Does she know about the mosque? I ask, though I already know the answer. She knows. The rector confirms. She's been here many times. She knows about the hidden rooms, knows many of our people by sight. The implications are clear. We have to assume the network is compromised. We have to assume the Gestapo will come here eventually, looking for evidence, looking for more arrests. We have to prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. We should evacuate the refugees we're currently sheltering, I say. Move them out through the tunnels as soon as possible. Clear the hidden rooms, destroy any documents that might incriminate us. The rector nods slowly. Yes, but carefully. If we panic, if we act too hastily, we'll draw attention. We need to appear normal while we quietly shut down operations. It's a difficult balance, maintaining the appearance of normalcy while preparing for disaster. But we have no choice. If the Gestapo raids the mosque and finds refugees hiding here, finds evidence of our resistance activities, it won't just be a few of us who suffer. The entire Muslim community will be targeted. Collective punishment for the actions of a few. We spend the next hour planning the evacuation, deciding who should move when, which routes to use, where they should go. It's complex logistics, made more complicated by the fact that we have to do everything in secret, without raising suspicions. By the time we finish, I'm exhausted again, running on fumes and fear. But there's no time to rest. The evacuations need to begin immediately. I spend the day moving between the hidden rooms, quietly informing the refugees that they need to prepare to leave. Some of them are terrified, having just arrived and not yet ready to face the dangers of the tunnels and the journey beyond. Others are relieved, grateful for any action that might get them closer to safety. By nightfall, we've moved 4 of the 6 people currently hiding in the mosque. 2 more will leave tomorrow night. Within 48 hours, the mosque will be clean, emptied of evidence, ready to withstand scrutiny if the Gestapo comes. But even as we execute this evacuation, even as we prepare for the worst, new people keep arriving. A young couple with a baby, warned by neighbors that they're about to be arrested. An old man whose son was taken in a roundup. They come to the mosque because they've heard rumors, because someone told someone who told someone that there's help available here. We can't turn them away. We can't tell them that we're shutting down operations, that it's too dangerous right now. So we take them in, hide them in the rooms we just emptied, and start the cycle all over again. The work never ends. That night, I'm back in the tunnels, leading the young couple and their baby towards safety. The baby is mercifully quiet, probably too frightened by the strangeness of it all to cry. The mother carries him wrapped in blankets, and the father carries a small bag with their few possessions. We move slowly, accommodating their inexperience, stopping frequently to let them rest. It takes 3 hours to reach the exit point. 3 hours of creeping through the darkness with a baby who might cry at any moment and give us away. But we make it. The couple is handed off to the next link in the chain, given their forged papers and instructions, sent on their way toward a future that might include survival. I watch them disappear into the Paris night and allow myself a moment of hope. Maybe they'll make it. Maybe that baby will grow up, will live a full life. We'll never know how close he came to being murdered for the crime of being born Jewish. Maybe we're making a difference, one life at a time. Or maybe we're just delaying the inevitable, buying a few more days or weeks for people who will eventually be caught anyway. I don't know. I can't know. All I can do is keep working, keep fighting, keep trying to save whoever I can save. The walk back to the mosque is lonely. I'm always alone on the return trip. No one to talk to, nothing to do but think about the risks we're taking and the dangers we're facing. I think about Marth, arrested and probably being interrogated right now. I wonder if she's staying strong or if she's breaking, if she's giving up names and locations. I wonder how long we have before the Gestapo comes for us. Days? Weeks? Or are they already planning their raid? Already preparing to round us all up? When I reach the mosque, the first light of dawn is breaking again. Another night completed, another mission survived. I'm so tired, I can barely stand, but there's a certain satisfaction in the exhaustion. I've done something that matters. I've helped save a family. Whatever happens next, however this ends, I'll have that. I'll know that I didn't stand by and do nothing while evil triumphed. Sika Dor Ben Gabre is waiting for me in his office. He looks older than he did yesterday, the weight of our situation aging him visibly. Marth died, he says quietly. We just received word. She died during interrogation. She never talked. Relief and grief war within me. Relief that our network is safe, that Mart's death means our secret remains secure. Grief that a good woman, a brave woman, died in pain and fear at the hands of monsters. It's not fair. It's not right. But it is the reality of the world we're living in. A world where people die for the crime of helping others. We continue, the rector says, and it's not a question. We continue, I agree, because there is no other answer. We continue until we can't anymore. We continue until the war ends or until they catch us. We continue because people need help and we're able to provide it. And that means we must provide it. The war continues. The work continues. And we continue with it, one life saved at a time, one night in the catacombs at a time, one forged paper at a time. It's not much, but it's something. And in a war where evil seems overwhelming, where darkness threatens to consume everything, even small lights matter. Even tiny acts of resistance matter. We are those small lights. We are that resistance. And we will not be extinguished while there's still breath in our bodies and people who need saving.